In the colorful universe of Power Rangers, there have been many heroes and villains who have left their mark on the franchise's rich history. And from the good ones to the bad ones, they all have their own iconic status. Evil Rangers especially, of all variation too, like the Green Ranger, the Psycho Rangers, and the Dino Thunder White Ranger. But there's one Power Ranger out there that settled their legacy without even being a Ranger in the first place. It's time to talk about the fan favorite character Heckyl, who you may know as the Dino Charge Dark Ranger. His story is definitely interesting. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up everybody, it's Este here, and today we're talking about a character loved by Power Ranger fans worldwide, and that is Heckyl from Power Rangers Dino Charge. And we'll be explaining his story from the Japanese origins, his villain story, and of course his time as a Power Ranger during Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. This is actually a decade worth of history and knowledge, so there's a lot to get into. And it all starts in Japan. Let's stop past Este for a second and let future Este talk about today's sponsor. It's the holiday season, and I'm sure one of you guys have been gifted a smart device and are looking for some apps to download. And to be honest, let's forget those boring apps because we need a game worthy for these frosty fingers. We're talking about some cool champions. I mean, reckless forces of nature, boss battles, and PvP battles that will make noise in the silent night. Check this out because we got some cool champions on our wish list. Like Tatsura Rhymehide, the High Elves' icy guardian. Her wings smack foes in many areas, hot or cold. And besides them sides the Whirling Frost King. And their Blizzard of buffs will strengthen your team with a shield that I will assure you give you warmth during this winter. I'm doing all these battles and everything just to get these guys into my team, but hey, it's not just them, because all I want for Christmas is you to join my squad too. Because while the weather outside is frightful, I'll be inside delightful checking out Raid Shadow Legends Christmas Story. A festive time with minigames to solve with a chance to win in-game and IRL prizes. With a month-long Yuletide Titan event that will get you even more rewards. So for all you newbies out there in the E-Squad, click the first link in the description down below or this QR code next to me to unlock 2 awesome champions. Like the formidable, epic, intimidating Lightsworn. But also when you get to level 15, the powerful epic boss slayer Juliana will help your journey as well. So join the battle by clicking the link in the description down below and play Raid Shadow Legends today. And while you're at it, go find me at the game with my user, Este the Gamer. Or you can just join my clan called, you know, the E-Squad. That's you guys. Together we'll mark a legendary E-Squad path. I'll see you in the game. Juden Sentai Kyryuger Gaburincher of Music was released back in August 3rd of 2013, being one of the many films for the Dinosaur Sentai. This film introduces the concept of the Death Ryuger. The character we're looking at is Ferocious Knight D, who has appeared in one movie and in one episode of Kyryuger. He was a Devil Knight who was asleep for hundreds of millions of years, and of course he wants to wipe the planet Earth as soon as he woke up. With the help of the Death Ryuger Zudenchi, he gains access to this sick suit inspired by the Stegosaurus, with a mix of blue, red, and yellow aspects, some new golden shiny armbands that the regular Kyryugers don't have, and of course the Flute Buster. Now after the premiere of that movie, fans saw the suit and just fell in love with the character quite instantly and imagined, hey, what would that look like in a Power Rangers aspect? Because we've seen evil Rangers before, especially evil Dino Rangers, and the Death Ryuger is definitely an evolution of that. And with the reveal in 2014 that Saban Brands is going to be adapting Kyryuger instead of the spy-themed Go Busters for the next Power Rangers adaptation, fans immediately started thinking how they were going to do this story. I actually remember back then Dino Charge just being full of fan casts. The series is kind of popular for having 10 different Rangers, a little bit more too, and everybody back then was just thinking who could have fit into what roles if they were to have returning Rangers. This of course was after the big hype and not success of the Legendary Battle and then bringing old Rangers back. I even remember seeing people wanting JDF, the original Green Ranger, to come back too as the Silver Ranger of the team. But soon after that though, a lot of fans came out and said how this movie can't really be adapted, as the modern day Power Rangers that we know doesn't really adapt the Super Sentai movies like they did in the past, as footage from these films were usually used for crossovers, but was heavily stopped being used for the Disney era of the show, favoring original footage. However, for the Neo Saban era, Saban Brands did actually use the movies for the series, big examples being using both the Shinkenger X Go-Andra crossover and the Shinkenger Summer movie for one combined movie during Power Ranger Samurai. And of course, we had the 199 Great Hero Battle from Gokaiger used in both Megaforce and Super Megaforce. So in reality, there actually was a chance here. And during the holiday season of 2014, when fans got their hands on the Dino Charge morpher, people were quick to look for hidden sounds, with one actually featuring the sound for a Talon Ranger, supposedly being used for a number 00 Dino Charger for the Spinozord.
Spinosaurus! Power Ranger Talon!
Yoshi Sudarso, who played Code in the series, got word for this and asked Chip Lynn, a well-known Power Rangers writer working on Dino Charge, to confirm, to which he would say that the Talon in question was actually the bird character of the show, being his production name.
But that actual sound bit was because of Xenowing, not because of Death Ranger.
You may know that as Xenowing, as Dino Charge had it, but Xenowing, he was the Silver Ranger. Silver, Talon, it doesn't really add up, at least to me. And apparently the Ranger wasn't even meant to be in the show in the first place. That's probably the cause of making Dino Drive and Super Drive and adding all this new stuff that Dino Charge did just probably wasn't worth it for Saban brands. Or maybe they just really didn't think of that, like they just forgot about the movie. And like, yeah, the show already had 10 Rangers, they had trouble fitting all those in, especially Dino Supercharged, so the show could have been worse. So if that 2014 was pretty quiet on speculation, and since Power Rangers was in a 2-season model, the introduction of the character Heckyl during the finale of Dino Charge in 2015 really opened the door for further speculation among the fans. We would learn throughout 2016 Dino Supercharge that Heckyl had come from the planet Sentai 6, which being a reference to the Super Sentai series. Lord Arcanon would destroy his home, and in a desperate need to fight, he would take the Dark Energen, but that would ultimately turn him evil and give him an evil sidekick in the process. You know what's not rare though? My love for the E-Squad. Subscribe and ring notification bell to join the E-Squad today. And who knows, if you put a comment down below, make it funny, put the E-Squad in it, you might be the E-Squad comment of the day. That's all I gotta say. There's the proof right there, it's living. And along Heckyl, of course, came Snide, the evil monster version of this dude. It of course was a play on words on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, an 1800s gothic novella about a guy who had an evil alter ego. And even though Heckyl is a character original to Power Rangers, Snide was from the Super Sentai series, being Neo Galton, which is from another Kyryuger movie, The Dinosaur Great Battle, which by the way, if you didn't notice, is a reincarnation of the original character, Galton, aka Zeltrax in Dino Thunder. No connection, by the way. They didn't mention how they looked similar, because they kind of did, but they didn't mention that, no connection. However, they wouldn't use footage from the film, they would just use the suit. Which made fans really question Saban and his tactics, because why use a monster from a movie, but not a ranger suit from another? We would learn the story of Heckyl and Snide. They would destroy galaxies together, before being imprisoned by Sledge. But for Dino Supercharge, he was the true villain and the new captain of the spaceship, using Heckyl to invade the Dino Bite Cafe, as Snide would do villainous tasks with Sledge's crew. And once the Rangers found out that they're one of the same, they would use something called the split emitters to split them into 2 different entities. But even then, Heckyl didn't become a Power Ranger. I mean, he could shoot lightning at his hands, so he was honestly chilling the way he is. At the end of the show, he would become the keeper of the Dark Energen, and was sent back in time with the help of Xenowing to save his planet and his people. And even though it was a alright ending for Heckyl, fans were disappointed he never became a Power Ranger. They would actually use elements from the Gobble Ranger of Music movie in a separate episode of Dino Supercharge, mostly because it was adapted from that other episode where the Ferocious Knight D came from. It was episode 18, The Rangers Rock, and it had the Dark Ranger Spinosaurus Zord and the villain Ferocious Knight D, now named Medusa. I'm sorry, man, I can't take you seriously when you're one letter off Medusi. And you can actually see this monster for most of Dino Charge in the background of the jail cells, almost as if Saban was teasing us the whole time. Boo! So after the show finished airing in 2016 and moved on to Ninja Steel, what happened? Well, the toy company Bandai of America would state in interviews in 2017 how the Talon Ranger could be getting his own toy exclusive figure, but nothing was actually announced. And they sold the toy license and the show to Hasbro in 2018, so there was no hope. Comment question of the day: which Power Ranger do you want to get more love in a future Power Ranger season? To be honest, as we're nearing the times of Power Rangers SPD, let's bring back the Cat Ranger, alright? We need some more Doggy Kruger, Cat Ranger fights. I need some more of that. Let me know in the comments down below and leave a like to lock in your answer. 1,500 likes and I'll do more videos just like this one. This is where the comics come in and try to save the day. The Boom Studios Power Ranger comics was the home to many fan-favorite moments and events. Shattered Grid was one of those events, where an evil version of Tommy Oliver, the evil Green Ranger, would try to take down the multiverse. And issue 29 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, released on July 18, 13th, 2018 showed us not just the first appearance of the Beast Morphers team before they were on TV, the first comic book appearance of the web series Hyperforce team, it would of course show us Heckyl as the Dark Ranger. And as I'll tell you one thing, it's about damn time. We would later find out that Xenowing would help Heckyl control the mystical powers of the Dark Energem, but would secretly use the Silver Ranger's morphers as a basis for his own morpher. Xenowing would not approve of this, and Heckyl would be just like, go to your room, and lock him in a room while he destroyed Lord Arcanon himself, and hey, he saved his planet. However, the Dark Ranger suit would kind of stick it to his skin and start morphing like a Venom in Spider-Man 3, and that would slowly bring back Snide once again. So Heckyl bought Xenowing back just for him to sacrifice himself and purify Heckyl and his Dark Ranger form. R.I.P. Heckyl, you were my favorite bird. You were not as angry as angry birds, you were just an angry little bird. He would then be summoned by Zordon to help a big army of Rangers have a last stand against Lord Draken, ultimately becoming one of the survivors of the Shattered Grid event, being locked in a pocket dimension without his powers, along with a group of other Rangers called the Promethea Rangers. And this is where the Beyond the Grid storyline and Heckyl's Dark Ranger story takes a whole new path. Not even something we'd see in the Super Sentai. As Heckyl would become the Blue Solar Ranger, as part of a team of other Power Rangers alumni to take on an evil Morphin Master Praetor, who was on the hunt for Vortex energy in the aftermath of Shattered Grid. And hey, Heckyl even got his own Blue Solar Zord in the process too, okay? Good for him, because his Spinozord was just left to Dino Charge Rangers with no proper owner. The suit would also contain all the accents of his original Dark Ranger suit, providing for a cool color combo. He would ultimately appear in this comic until issue 39 on June 5th, 2019. And 2019 was also the year that Heckyl could have been played as the Dark Ranger in the Power Rangers Legacy Wars video game. And well, that was pretty much it. The story could have ended right there, and that would have been fine. You know, I originally made my own video talking about the mystery of the Talon Ranger about 5 years ago, and well, I will say in the 5 years after that video, a lot has happened. 2020 was the year that everybody was inside, but it was also the year the Dino team up in Power Rangers, the same one that introduced us to the costume they would later use for Snide. And this team up brought back 4 of the 6 main Dino Charge Rangers, Jason from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and that's it. They had Dino Thunder Rangers, but just in suit. Nobody was under them. That was sad. Fans saw this returning cast and thought there was room for the Dark Ranger. Ryan Carter, the actor of Heckyl, was from New Zealand and could have easily popped up in there. And they could have made the Dark Ranger fight Snide too, but that ultimately did not happen. 2021 and 2022 was both the years of another Power Rangers dinosaur series, Power Rangers Dino Fury, and for a show that was adapting and taking in a lot of different elements of the Power Rangers universe, the Dark Ranger really wasn't a thing for those 2 seasons. 2023 was the year everything changed though, and it ultimately all started with a news article from the Illuminati on February 21st, simply stating that Ryan Carter would return for the role as Heckyl and become the Dark Ranger. In the months that followed, fans speculated the role as pictures and videos from the show start to leak. But the day of September 29th, 2023 came, and that was the day the Dark Ranger became canon in the Power Rangers universe. Heckyl would make his first Cosmic Fury appearance in episode 5 in a selfie on Squillionaire's phone. She was the daughter of one of the main big bads, Bajillionaire. And yes, Heckyl is now dating a squid. And he's also in the main universe now. Just so we're all clear, Dino Charge is in a separate universe from the rest of the Power Rangers universe. But we've seen in recent years, as early as Ninja Steel, that people from other dimensions can cross over. Also, Scott from RPM came by a train during Samurai. So, you can teleport to any multiverse anywhere. So it's right to say that bro got one of them multiverse devices and just pulled up to this other universe. Because, you know, Lord Zed was conquering Earth, and if we know anything about Heckyl, he didn't want to see another planet go down. Other example of this could be seen when the Dino Charge Rangers come into the main universe, as well as when Beast Morphers came into the Dino Charge universe too. My question is, if Heckyl pulled up, why didn't other Dino Charge Rangers pull up? Maybe I'm asking too much. We would see him in full during episode 6 when Squillia had bought him inside the Squid Drill, and got word from Lord Zed how the Cosmic Fury Rangers are coming to Earth. And in episode 7, it was ultimately revealed that Heckyl was a spy for the Rafkonian Resistance. So when the Cosmic Fury Rangers returned to Earth, Tarek, another previous villain, signaled Heckyl to disable the Squid Drill, and it was finally morphin time for Heckyl as he became the Dark Ranger. Now let's pause right here, because if you notice something, the suit here in Cosmic Fury looks different from what I've been showing you from the rest of the video. Instead of using Dino Chargers in a Dino Charge morpher like in the comics, Heckyl uses the Spino Boomerang, which is an unofficial name the fans have given it. Also, fun fact, Ryan Carter is not good at coordination, so they gave him the simplest morph in the world: bend and pose. That was it. Imagine if you had to do the Kuryuja morph. Then of course you have that helmet, which instead of having a red border, it has a gray one. And no, this isn't like the silver stripe in the Green Ranger, it's different. This came from another Kuryuger movie, that being Kuryuger 100 years after, where the cast of the series plays the future Kuryugers, aka their children. Daikun, the grandchild of the Red and Pink Rangers, would become Kuryu Navy, which in comparison to the Death Ranger has no armbands and that silver helmet border. The reason behind it though, that's what the Japanese sent them. Executive producer Simon Bennett stated that the helmet and the suit was given by Toei, the makers of the Super Sentai series. A color correction was considered, similar to the removal of that silver stripe in the Green Ranger Legendary Battle, but was ultimately not allowed by Toei, making this Power Rangers Dark Ranger suit a combination of the two, which definitely makes this a unique hero in the Power Rangers history. Anyways, the Dark Ranger was easily defeated in that first on-screen battle and was sent to Zed's prison down below. How anticlimactic, honestly. It was the gorilla grip of those squid tentacles that was holding Heckyl, man. Can't get out. Squid strong. He would later be freed at the end of the episode, and we would get a mini Dino team up with the Cosmic Fury Rangers, Mighty Morphin Blue, and our now Dark Ranger. And after fighting together and taking down the villains, all as one big Dino family, the three old heads would speak to our new team of Rangers, complimenting their job well done, and now showing off Heckyl's now ex-girlfriend in captivity. And that was it. That's the story of Heckyl as the Dark Ranger. He didn't ultimately appear in the end of Cosmic Fury though, maybe that's a little nitpick on my side of things, but hey, it was great to see him just pull up and finally morph into the Dark Ranger on screen. It's something fans have been waiting years and years for, and honestly, it was well worth the wait. It was crazy in itself that after a decade, we finally see the Dark Ranger canonized and part of the series we all love. And that's the meaning of fan support, right? Years of talk, years of discussion, years of speculation, years of dreams and wishes. They listened, and for one of the many rare times, they actually delivered on it. But what do you think of the Dark Ranger? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Dino Fuego. I'm also on Instagram, NotDonFuego. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.